Tyrone had come over while Andre was working late, an all-too-common occurrence given
Your bitch was
Andre's
getting
demanding
fucked when
schedule
you
as a
had
sheriff.
overtime at work. Cool.
Jasmine would arrange errands that conveniently placed her near Tyrone's apartment or job, ensuring they could steal moments together without being noticed. Even in the Harris household.
So basically, she ain't had no job. She was a stay-at-home whore. Can't say wife. She was a stay-at-home whore. Chat. I'm back. Sheriff discovers through DNA that his brother fathered his 3 kids, leading to double murder. Your brother fucked your bitch. And my brother fucked my bitch. Is up, nigga.
What if you walk into your matrimonial bedroom and find your wife giving oral sex to your brother?
Like that?
How would you confront a betrayal so devastating it shattered everything you believed in? Andre Harris was a man who seemed to have it all, a loving wife, 4 beautiful children, and a career that made him a pillar of his community.
See how they said seemed? Because a loving wife ain't gonna fuck your brother. You know what I'm saying? That shit's crazy. White
As a sheriff, he was the protector of others, the one people turn to in their darkest moments. But what happens when the protector becomes the victim?
Yo, you see this shit? His wife fucked his brother, and his brother was the father for his 3 kids.
When the betrayal comes from the very people closest to him. One ordinary day, a revelation would come crashing into Andre's life, tearing apart everything he thought he knew about trust and loyalty. The quiet, loving home he had built would become the setting for a tragedy that no one could have foreseen. This is the story of a betrayal so intimate and devastating, it ended in heartbreak, violence, and the destruction of an entire family. Before we dive into this heartbreak...
All 3 though? Fuck hands. Yo, what? You see how I say double? You see how I say double, you know? Fuck hands. Like, all 3, like, I can't have not even 1 kid mine. I couldn't get 1. You had all 3? I couldn't get 1?
Breaking case. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to Shocking True Crime Stories.
We ain't showing hands after that.
This one will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about trust and loyalty.
You couldn't leave me 1 kid. Like, that mean every time the brother was sleeping with her, she would have a kid and go sleep with the brother again and have another kid. Like, or she would, she probably would sleep with the brother, have him bustle in her, and then go sleep with him to make it seem,
Harris was
at
a
the
man
time
of principle, a 44-year-old sheriff whose life revolved around his unwavering commitment to justice and family.
That's fucked.
Respected in his community for his integrity and calm leadership, Andre took great pride in the life he had built. At the center of it all was Jasmine, the woman he married 15 years.
Is that really her? 15 years, shorty. I'm with you for 15 years. You
years ago.
Yo, you cheat on me after. If you cheat on me after like 2-3 years, I'm be tight. 15, bitch. Well, rest in peace to her. I think he killed her, but 15, bitch.
And the mother of his 4 children.
15. Okay. He had 4. Okay, so one of them was his. All right, so he at least had 1. You feel me?
Their love story began when Andre was a young deputy, eager to make a difference in the world, and Jasmine was volunteering at a community event. She was magnetic, with a smile that could light up a room, and Andre, typically reserved, found himself captivated by her warmth and charm. Jasmine, 39, had grown up in the same city as Andre, but their paths
How old was he? He was 40? It said 40?
Crossed until that fateful day. At least that's what Andre thought. 40. In truth, Jasmine had a history that predated their relationship, a link to someone Andre held close, his younger brother, Tyrone. Tyrone Harris, 41, was the opposite of Andre.
I'm thinking, is these people using AI to show these niggas' face?
In many ways.
Really their face? Cause why his pony look like that? This gotta be AI, right?
While Andre was steady, disciplined, and focused, Tyrone was impulsive, charming, and carefree. He had always been the golden boy, the one who could make anyone laugh, talk his way out of trouble, and leave a lasting impression wherever he went. But his charm...
Cool. Your little brother was really fucking your hoe. That's fucked up. Like, I wouldn't even do that to my brother.
Often masked a deep insecurity,
shit, bro.
A feeling that he was...
There's so much bitches out here. Why you gotta touch my bitch? And then my bitch, you a hoe. My brother?
Constantly living
Nah.
in Andre's shadow.
Not even my cousin, my
While
brother.
Andre had built a successful career and started a family, Tyrone's life had been a series of starts and stops, failed relationships,
So that nigga was a
odd
hater.
jobs, and a restless pursuit of something he could never quite name.
No.
Jasmine had known Tyrone long before she ever met Andre.
That can't really be her. That's
They
some
had
AR
attended
shit,
the same
'cause
high
they got
school, though their social circles rarely overlapped.
tatas out and all that.
Jasmine, quiet and studious, had admired Tyrone from afar. He was everything she wasn't, popular, confident, and seemingly
How the
untouchable.
fuck they brought that nigga in
He was
like that?
everything she
Oh, it
wasn't,
was a mirror. I'm
popular,
like,
confident, and seemingly untouchable. Like many others, she had fallen for his easy charm, though he
AI like a bitch. I ain't gonna lie. They made Shorty look kind of bad. Like, that old shit could get that, you heard? Hold on. Alright, yo, we back. But yo, hey, I got Shorty looking like some shit, yeah? Cause they got like, why her shit so perky? Like, they had that. Yo, I'm wildin', chat. I'm sounding horny as shit.
barely noticed her. Years later, when Andre brought her home to meet his family after they started dating, she was shocked to realize that Andre's younger brother was the same Tyrone she had spent years secretly crushing on. Andre introduced them with pride, oblivious.
Wait. That's how true it is. So she had a crush for years on some nigga?
To the flicker of
They gonna piss
recognition
me
in
off already.
Jasmine's eyes or the spark of amusement in
They gonna piss
Tyrone's.
me off already. It's too early.
To Andre, family was everything, and bringing Jasmine into the fold was a way of solidifying the future he envisioned for them. Tyrone, always quick to capitalize on an opportunity, played the role of the supportive younger brother, welcoming Jasmine with open arms.
And he
The
was
connection
fucking,
between
he opened her with open. I say he opened her. He welcomed her with open arms and open legs. You heard? Cause he was all up in your bitch. Like three of your kids is his kids. You know that? That's fucking crazy. 3 of your kids is his kids. So that's not just open arms. That's open arms and dick. He was giving her dick.
Jasmine and
That is
Tyrone was
crazy.
almost
That is
instantaneous,
fucking
though they
crazy.
kept it hidden from Andre.
Yo.
Their shared history became a private bond, something they could talk about in quiet moments that Andre would never suspect. The affair didn't start
Then
immediately.
they was secretly fucking. They was well, obviously. That was a dumbass. That
But
was
the
some dumbass shit to
foundation
say.
was laid in those early days.
But
Tyrone visited often, his charm and humor making him a favorite among the family. Jasmine,
visiting to
feeling the
fuck
weight
your
of Andre's
bitch.
demanding job and growing emotional distance, found herself drawn to Tyrone's attention. He noticed things Andre didn't, the way she styled her hair, the effort she put into preparing meals, the moments when she seemed overwhelmed but tried to hide it. For Jasmine, it felt like someone finally saw her again. The first step across the line happened a year
know what he
after
was
Andre
doing.
and Jasmine's wedding. Tyrone had come
so she waited till she got married to cheat on a nigga. Gus, you hear this shit? She couldn't cheat before the marriage. Like, see, bitches don't make sense. Like, yo, a bitch would be, I can't even say loyal. Like, he probably thought she was loyal. She probably was getting fucked the whole time.
come
Like,
over to help with a repair project while Andre was working late.
it's a
They
cold
talked
world,
and laughed
bro.
as they
That
worked,
shit is crazy.
reminiscing about high school teachers and shared memories. When Tyrone leaned in closer, his hand brushing against hers, Jasmine didn't move away. It was a fleeting
Nigga was
moment, but it
testing the
opened the door
water.
to something neither of them could undo. For
Yo.
Tyrone, the affair was as much about desire as it was about rivalry. He
Hating
had
on your
always
brother,
envied
you was a
Andre,
hating-ass
his
nigga.
discipline, his success,
You
his
was a
ability
weird,
to build a
hating-ass
life
nigga.
that seemed so stable and complete. Taking something that belonged to Andre felt like a twisted form of victory, a way to claim a piece of the life he believed should have been his. Jasmine, for her part,
That's some crazy hating shit. How you feel like his life should have been your life? That makes sense, bro. Like, you gotta be a different type of hater to say some shit like that. Like, you felt like his life should have been your life, but you the fuck up. He the fuck up, and yo, that shit is
justified
crazy.
the betrayal as filling a
Yo.
void that Andre had left unaddressed, though the guilt
shit
lingered
is
in quiet
crazy,
moments
bro.
when she was alone. Their secret relationship began in earnest, woven into the fabric of family gatherings, casual visits, and shared moments that Andre never thought to question. The affair overlapped with the early
Damn,
years of
Andre.
Jasmine and
This the only
Andre's
nigga that
marriage,
ain't AI.
a period during which 3 of their 4 children were conceived.
AI is
While Andre
shit.
worked tirelessly
Look at this shit. Like, why they got? Yo, I can't click off.
to provide
Click off the shit so I can see the nigga head.
for
Can't even click off. But look at these badass dreads they gave this nigga. Like, they really. Alright, they
His
gotta
growing
chill with this AI shit
family.
because they doing too much. This shit don't fit on this nigga. Like, what the fuck is these? They
Tyrone
doing
and
too much with
Jasmine
that AI
carried on
shit.
their betrayal.
Yo, they made her ass. They know what they did when they did that. Like, they know what they did when they put her like that.
Convinced
niggas
that
is
their
horny.
secret would never come to light. Andre,
So they thought they was
devoted
just
to
gonna
his
keep
family
fucking
and his
forever.
work,
They thought they was just gonna keep fucking forever and nobody would know.
never suspected the cracks forming beneath the surface of his seemingly perfect life. He adored his children. Malik, the responsible
I
and
wasn't
mature
adoring
eldest,
these AI
Jaden, the
shits.
playful and curious middle child,
Nah, that
Cameron,
sound crazy.
the quiet and thoughtful observer,
But yo.
and Alea, the youngest and only daughter, whose innocence
Like, what
and
did they
joy
do?
lit up the household.
Yo, if these
To
these,
Andre,
I know these
his
not real
family
kids,
was
but if they
everything,
are,
the
yo,
anchor that
God,
kept him
I'm sorry.
grounded in the chaos
But
of his
this is
demanding
definitely
career.
AI. Look at that nigga.
He had no idea that the foundation of that family was built on a lie,
Hold on, I
one
don't
that would
even know
event.
what the fuck
He
he's
had
saying.
no the anchor that kept him grounded in the chaos of his demanding career. He had
Okay, his
no idea
kids.
that the foundation of that family was built on a lie, one that would eventually come to destroy everything he held dear.
So
The-
he ain't know that his kids wasn't really his kids. They was his nieces and nephews. Yo, Gus, you have kids and you find out 15 years later that that's really your niece and nephew. How you reacting? You said hands. I know you lying, nigga. I know you lying. Ain't no hands. Hands. Ain't no hands. Ain't no hands. Ain't no hands.
The affair
I
between
don't-
Jasmine and Tyrone began as an unexpected connection reignited from their high
Yo,
school years,
nigga said, I don't
but it
even
quickly
know, cuz.
spiraled into something far more intense.
Bro.
In the early days, their
Hands?
interactions were subtle,
Yo.
lingering looks, a brush of hands when no one was watching, and stolen conversations that carried a spark neither of them could ignore. What
Yo.
started as innocent
I ain't
nostalgia
gonna lie, the nigga kind of slow too. My bitch too friendly with my brother. Like, crashing the whole V, nigga. Go through the crib type crashing, cause that's crazy. But my bitch too friendly with my brother. I'ma know something up. Like, I don't even
for
even
their
play
shared
like
past
that.
became a dangerous web
Like,
of
why you
desire
up in
and
his
deceit,
face? Why y'all
entwining
touching?
their lives in ways
What
they
you
hadn't
mean y'all niggas
anticipated.
hanging out today?
The first time they crossed the line, it felt electric,
You're a little
almost
slow.
inevitable. Tyrone had come over while Andre was working late, an all too common occurrence given
Your bitch was
Andre's
getting
demanding
fucked when
schedule
you
as a
had
sheriff.
overtime at work. Cool.
Jasmine had asked for help with a household
Nah.
repair, and Tyrone, ever the charmer, was happy to oblige.
He was happy
Their
to come
laughter
fuck.
as they
That was the
reminisced
plumber.
about high school memories turned into something deeper when Jasmine brushed past him in the narrow hallway. Tyrone,
You ever seen that? You know them corn scenes? I had to say corn. You know them corn scenes? This is basically it in real life. Like, the nigga came to fix something, but
emboldened by the moment,
came to fix them
leaned in
pipes,
for a
alright?
kiss.
cause
Jasmine didn't
that shit's
resist.
crazy.
That single act set
Ain't
the
no
tone
way
for
you
what
really
would
let
become
that shit
years of
rock.
secret meetings and shared betrayals. As the affair
Years,
progressed, they became masters at hiding their
Yo, Gus, you be betting? How you be doing them parlays? Parlays be hitting, cool?
relationship from
I had to
Andre.
ask that real quick.
They were careful,
I
always
still
making
bet.
sure their stolen moments were well timed. Family gatherings became opportunities for whispered conversations and fleeting touches when no one else was looking. Tyrone would offer to babysit the kids while Jasmine ran errands, a perfect excuse to spend time alone together.
That's fucking crazy.
Their shared history gave them a natural cover.
Yo,
After
I
all,
be losing my fucking one. That shit, I lost my one yesterday. That should be pissing me off for real. Like, I ain't even gonna
it
get into
wasn't
that because that shit
unusual
gonna
for
piss me
in-laws
off.
to bond
But I
over their
definitely, I
past.
might need to do football today. It's mad
Andre
games.
never thought to question it. Tyrone often found himself conflicted about the affair, particularly in the beginning. He knew it was wrong, not just because Jasmine was married, but because she was married to his brother. The weight of that betrayal sat heavy on his chest, but every time he thought about ending it, Jasmine's presence would pull him back. Her attention, her touch, it all filled a void in Tyrone's life, a sense of worth he had never quite achieved on his own.
Katie ain't get 1 3.
Jasmine,
and
for
I think
her part,
another one
was equally torn.
Missed by 1 rebound.
She loved her family and cared deeply for Andre, but Tyrone made her feel seen and desired in ways she hadn't experienced in years.
So basically, he showed her that you have the good up. And her nigga probably wasn't even killing it for real. So I don't know how he thought these kids was his. Cause she was I know, she would always have to go run and take a shower. And that nigga's crazy,
One of the most
bro.
Intoxicating aspects of their relationship was Jasmine's ability to make Tyrone feel powerless in the best way.
Yo.
Her confidence, especially in their intimate moments, was something Tyrone couldn't resist. Jasmine had a way of making him feel as though he was the center of her universe, and her skill in the bedroom was unmatched. She knew exactly how to keep him coming back. Her mastery of fellatio leaving him breathless and addicted.
Fuck is fellatio?
Even when Tyrone tried to pull away, convinced he needed to stop before they got caught, the memory of her touch, her lips, and the way she made him feel would draw him back in. Their passion for each other wasn't just physical, it was laced with danger, guilt, and the thrill of the forbidden. It was this mix of emotions that made their connection so intense and so difficult to break. Jasmine knew exactly how to keep Tyrone entangled, offering just enough affection to make him feel needed without demanding too much in return. Tyrone, for all his charm and bravado, was powerless to resist. He hated himself for it, but he hated the idea of letting her go even more. The secrecy of their affair added to its intensity. Every stolen kiss, every whispered word felt magnified by the risk they were taking. They developed elaborate ways to communicate without raising suspicion. Tyrone would send Jasmine innocuous text messages disguised as conversations about family matters. Jasmine would arrange errands that conveniently placed her near Tyrone's apartment or job, ensuring they could steal moments together without being noticed. Even in the Harris household.
So basically, she ain't had no job. She was a stay-at-home whore. Can't say wife. She was a stay-at-home whore. They ain't had no job, and she used to just make plans so that she could go get some Dino.
They found ways to hide in plain sight, using family gatherings and casual visits as cover for their stolen intimacy. For years, they managed to keep the affair hidden. To Andre, the bond between Jasmine and Tyrone seemed like a natural extension of their family dynamic.
Damn, Andre.
He never questioned Tyrone's frequent visits or the way Jasmine's mood seemed to lift whenever Tyrone was around.
He's stupid.
He was too focused on providing for his family, too trusting of the people he loved most to see the truth unfolding right in front of him.
See, it ain't never
but
that
secrets
much
have a way of surfacing, no matter how carefully they're buried.
Nah, let me not say that, because do not put me in this situation. I don't got time.
Jasmine and Tyrone's affair, built on passion, betrayal, and lies, was bound to unravel.
I don't got time.
The deeper they fell into their secret world, the more precarious their situation became. Every stolen moment carried the risk of discovery, and every whisper of guilt hinted at the storm that was coming. For years, Andre remained blissfully unaware of the betrayal unfolding in his own home. He took pride in his family, adoring each of his children and cherishing the life he believed they had built together. But everything changed one afternoon when Jasmine, in what seemed like a casual comment, mentioned how much Jaden's smile reminded her of Tyrone's. The remark, though innocent on the surface, struck a chord deep within Andre. He brushed it off at first. On the surface, smile reminded her, in what seemed like a casual comment, mentioned how much Jaden's smile reminded her of Tyrone's. The remark, though innocent on the surface, struck a chord deep within Andre.
See, he finally clicked it. It finally clicked in his brain. Like, what's not clicking, Andre? Fuck on.
It off at first, but the thought lingered, gnawing at the back of his mind.
Andre,
questions began to form, small, unsettling doubts that he couldn't shake. Unable to ignore the unease, Andre decided to put his concerns to rest once and for all. But the path to confirming his worst fears wasn't easy. He spent days researching how to conduct a DNA test discreetly, not wanting to arouse Jasmine's suspicion.
Nah,
His
he
hands
caught her on
trembled
the
as he
low.
placed the order for the home DNA kit online, using an alternate delivery address to keep it hidden from his family.
How do you take a DNA test on a low key? Because don't you need the kid? You just gonna swab your kid? How you ask your kid, yo, I need you to... You probably bring your kid some juice in a cup. And after you take the cup and you swab the cup, right? That might be his best option.
When the kit arrived, Andre hid it carefully in his car, waiting for the right moment to collect the samples he needed. Andre planned meticulously, taking time to ensure his actions wouldn't be noticed.
Yeah, see?
Late one night, while the children were
asleep
asleep and Jasmine was in the shower, he crept into their rooms. From Malik's desk, he grabbed a used pencil with faint teeth marks on the eraser. Jaden's bedside table provided a partially chewed straw from a juice box, and Cameron's laundry basket held a discarded sock he could use. For Alea, he carefully picked a strand of hair from her brush, whispering an apology to himself as he did so.
Okay, so this nigga went and tested every fucking kid. Yo, that nigga was on bad timing. But, so it don't gotta be saliva then, I guess. It could be... So, like, wouldn't hair just show... It probably would show, like, not 100% paternity, but, like... How much is that, like 50%? 60%? I don't know. Showing that it's not fully your kids, but it's your niece and nephew. I don't know how that should work.
The final piece of the puzzle was his own DNA sample. Sitting alone in his car late that night, Andre swabbed his cheek, following the kit's instructions with grim determination. As he sealed the swab and placed it with the others, a wave of nausea rolled over him. What was he doing? The very act of collecting these samples felt like a betrayal of his family, a violation of the trust he had worked so hard to build. But the doubts had taken root too deeply to ignore.
Yeah, nah, I was doing that test.
When he mailed the samples off the next morning, Andre couldn't shake the knot in his stomach. He told himself it was nothing, that he would receive the results in a few weeks, laugh at his foolishness, and put the matter to rest.
He thought this shit was a
joke,
nigga.
But as the days dragged on, his anxiety grew. He became more watchful,
I would be
scrutinizing
pissed.
every interaction between Jasmine and Tyrone,
every
glance,
I want the
every laugh,
same day,
every
nigga.
shared moment. The thought of them together in ways he couldn't bear to imagine haunted him. When the results finally arrived, Andre opened the envelope with trembling hands. The words stared back at him like a death sentence. Malik, Jaden, and Cameron were not biologically his.
See?
Only Alea, his youngest, carried his DNA. The paper fell from his hands
How
as
much
the
kids
room...
he just said? 3? Wait. Malik, Jaden, and Cameron?
Jaden and Cameron were not biologically his. Only Alea, his youngest, carried his DNA.
So yeah,
the paper fell from his hands as
she was getting crushed. And when he finally started giving her some D, that's when he had the last kid.
Room seemed to close in around him. Rage, betrayal, and devastation collided in his mind, leaving him with only one thought.
That means all the sons ain't his. He only got a daughter.
The moment Andre processed the damning evidence, a rage like he had never known overtook him. The family he had devoted his life to, the children he had loved unconditionally, were the result of a betrayal so deep it made his blood boil.
That nigga had a 3-peat. Your brother had a 3-peat with your bitch. Yo, 3 kids. Back to 15 years? Nah.
He didn't stop to think.
That shit is unbelievable, bro.
He didn't pause to plan. With the DNA results clutched in his shaking hands, he drove home in a blur, his mind spinning with accusations and fury.
Nigga had a
Andre burst through the front door, calling out for Jasmine, his voice echoing through the house like a thunderclap. There was no answer, only a chilling silence that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. He climbed the stairs 2 at a time, his heart pounding in his chest.
2 at a time?
When he reached their bedroom, he froze. There, on the bed they had shared for years, were Jasmine and Tyrone, caught in the throes of their affair. The betrayal he had just uncovered in black and white DNA evidence now played out in vivid, undeniable reality before his eyes. Jasmine's face turned pale as she saw Andre standing in the doorway, the rage etched into every line of his expression. Tyrone, ever the smooth talker, tried to speak, but Andre didn't give him the chance. In a blind fury, Andre reached for the firearm he carried as part of his duty as a sheriff. The years of deceit, the lies, and the image of his children, all of it boiled over in a moment of uncontrollable rage. Without hesitation, he fired. The first shot hit Tyrone square in the chest, silencing his brother's arrogant smirk forever. Jasmine screamed, her hands flying up as if to shield herself from the truth that was now unavoidable. A second shot rang out, and she fell silent, collapsing onto the bed where her betrayal had been laid bare. The room fell into...
And you fucking in the bed we sleep in? You couldn't have the courtesy to go to the guest room? The couch somewhere else? You gonna fuck in my bed?
To a deafening quiet, broken only by the sound of Andre's heavy breathing as he stood over their lifeless bodies. The weight of what he had done began to settle over him like a dark cloud, but in that moment, all he could feel was the crushing devastation of a life built on lies. His world, once so carefully constructed, lay in ruins, with the truth exposed in the most horrifying way possible.
To go to jail for that.
The first shot echoed through the house, followed immediately by the second.
Damn.
The sound was deafening, shattering the silence of the evening like a clap of thunder. The Harris children, nestled in their rooms, froze at the noise. It took only seconds for the realization to set in, something was terribly wrong. Malik, the eldest at 14, was the first to react, bolt.
The nigga 14. They was together 15 years. So as soon as they got together, she was cheating on that nigga with his brother. The oldest is 14.
Out of his room and down the hallway.
Yo.
Behind him, Jaden and Cameron emerged, their faces pale with fear. Little Alaya, just 5 years old, sat frozen on her bed, clutching a stuffed bear as the sound of her siblings' frantic voices filled the house. "Mom! Dad!" Malik shouted, his voice cracking as he rushed toward the master bedroom. Jaden tried to hold him back, pleading, "Don't go," but Malik shrugged him off, determined to find out what had happened. Cameron lingered in the hallway, trembling, while Alaya began to cry softly, her young mind unable to grasp the gravity of the situation.
Yo.
Inside the master bedroom, Andre stood over the lifeless bodies of Jasmine and Tyrone. The acrid smell of gunpowder hung in the air, mingling with the oppressive silence that followed the gunshots. His firearm slipped from his trembling hands and clattered to the floor. His breath came in shallow gasps as he stared at what he had done, the reality sinking in like a knife to the chest. The rage that had driven him moments ago evaporated, replaced by an overwhelming wave of regret and horror.
Damn.
The muffled cries of his children outside the door brought Andre back to his senses. He couldn't let them see this. He stepped into the hallway, closing the bedroom door behind him with a trembling hand. Malik stopped in his tracks, his face pale and stricken with fear. "Dad, what happened?" he stammered. Andre couldn't meet his son's eyes. His voice was low and hoarse as he said, "Go to your room. Take your brothers and sister. Now." Malik hesitated, sensing the gravity of his father's tone. "But, go." Andre barked, his voice cracking with a mix of authority and anguish. The children retreated, huddling together in Malik's room, their muffled cries filling the silence as Andre walked downstairs, his movements slow and deliberate. Once in the living room, Andre sank into the couch and pulled out his phone. His hands shook violently as he dialed 911. The operator answered with practiced calm, but Andre could barely find the words. "It's me, Andre," he said, his voice hollow. I just killed my wife and my brother, I'm sorry. I need the police." The operator began asking questions. Was he armed? Were there others in danger? But Andre didn't answer. He ended the call and sat in silence, his head in his hands.
Up story.
The weight of what he had done pressed down on him like a crushing burden. The distant sound of sirens grew louder with each passing second, a stark reminder that his life was about to change forever. When the police arrived, Andre didn't resist. He walked to the front door as the officers approached, their weapons drawn. "I'm unarmed," he said, raising his hands.
Yo,
his voice was devoid of emotion, his eyes glassy
fucked up
and
too.
unfocused. The officers handcuffed him and led him out of the house. As they escorted him to the patrol car,
he the
Andre
sheriff,
glanced up
so
at
they
the window,
know.
where Malik stood, watching in silence, his face pressed against the glass. The investigation was straightforward. The crime scene provided clear evidence of what had occurred. Andre's service firearm, discarded on the floor, matched the bull. His 911 call left no room for doubt about his guilt.
Yo.
While the police refrained from directly involving the children in the investigation, the trauma they had endured was impossible to ignore. Hearing the gunshots, witnessing their father's state after the crime, and being present in a house where such violence had occurred left psychological scars that couldn't be undone.
Go to their grandparents.
In addition to being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, Andre was also charged with 4 counts of child abuse. The prosecution argued that his actions had inflicted severe emotional harm on his children, placing them in a situation that no child should ever have to endure. By committing the murders in the family home, knowing the children were present, Andre had demonstrated a reckless disregard for their well-being.
Yo, that
The
trauma
charges
is
reflected the
fucked up.
irreversible impact his
That nigga
decisions
ain't
had on
getting
Malik,
out.
Jaden, Cameron, and Alaya, who would carry the weight of that night for the rest of their lives. Andre was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 4 counts of child abuse. The prosecution painted him as a man who allowed his anger and jealousy to consume him, turning a betrayal into a calculated act of violence that devastated his family. They emphasized his position as a sheriff, arguing that his training and role in the community made his actions all the more egregious. The defense,
Alright, see, nobody should be going through this, yeah, go to jail. But I bet you if he was a white man, he would not get all them charges.
however, portrayed
they be
Andre as a
wildin' in the
man
system,
pushed to
I
the
ain't gonna
brink,
lie.
whose crime was born of
The fact that he
unimaginable
black,
betrayal
they
rather
gonna
than
hand that nigga
premeditated
3
malice.
books.
Despite the legal arguments, Andre knew he had no defense for what he had done. He didn't fight the charges, accepting the weight of his guilt without protest.
He ain't got no choice.
The case was a spectacle,
Ain't got
drawing
no choice.
widespread media attention, but Andre remained stoic throughout. For him, the trial and the inevitable sentence were secondary to the unbearable loss of his family, the life he had built, the trust he had cherished, all reduced to ashes by his own actions. Andre
this
was
shit is
convicted
fucking
on both
crazy.
counts of first-degree murder and 4 counts of child abuse, receiving a life
How many
sentence
times they
without the
gonna- okay.
possibility of parole. The judge's words during sentencing were stern yet tinged with sorrow. While the betrayal you suffered is undeniable, the law cannot excuse the choices you made in response. You took 2 lives, and in
Damn,
doing
bro.
so, shattered the lives of your children and your community. As Andre was led away in handcuffs, his thoughts turned to his children. He knew they would carry the burden of his actions for the rest of their lives.
That
His
type
only
of trauma
hope,
is
though
fucking
distant and
crazy,
unlikely,
like,
was
for the
that
rest
one
of their
day
life,
they
they
might
gonna
find it
remember
in
that
their
shit.
hearts to forgive
No
him,
matter how
even
young
as he
they
struggled
was, they
to
gonna
forgive
remember that
himself.
shit.
This case is a devastating reminder of the cost of betrayal and the irreversible consequences of unchecked rage. What started as a marriage built on love and trust spiraled into heartbreak, violence, and unimaginable tragedy. At its heart lies a question we must all grapple with. Could honesty and transparency have prevented this devastating outcome, or was the betrayal so deep, so interwoven into their lives, that
Yeah, I
destruction
feel
was
like
inevitable?
15 years.
Andre
it
Harris's
was
story
over,
is
bro.
one of love and loyalty twisted by
Like,
deceit.
she was fucking the nigga brother for 15 years. You should have just left him and got with his brother. 15 years? I ain't gonna lie, 15
Deep
years is
enraged.
fucking outrageous,
A respected sheriff, a father, a man devoted to his
15
family, was driven
years.
to commit an unthinkable act when the truth unraveled before
And
him.
it's not like you
But was his
cheating
crime born of
15 years
temporary
ago.
insanity,
You
a
cheated
single
for
moment of blinding
15
fury?
years. Like,
Or was it the ultimate betrayal, the years of secrets and lies, festering, compounding, until there was no way forward but violence?
but how that nigga let
What do you
that shit
think?
happen for 15 years?
Was Andre
nigga?
a victim of his
can't be
emotions,
that
pushed
slow.
to the brink by an unimaginable